Good morning, Wood Hounds. So I just got done watching Joe's Firewood, the JPF live stream this morning. And seems that he's maybe started a little, instead of splitter wars, he started a little sticker wars. So you know I have Khaleesi dressed up here with these stickers. But now, whoa! There we go. Look at that little sticker collection. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. All right, so we got Boss Man out here. We are gonna go over and check in. In the last video, I showed you a little sneak peek of that big chunk of ice and where it was, or, well, I didn't really show you where it was. So we're getting ready to head back over to check if that ice from the last video has melted. It rained all day yesterday, most of the day, and it's been raining today. So I'm also going to show you now how much water there is to remove instead of just the ice. And then I'm going to go into a little bit of the backstory and let you guys see what that is. However, what it is now is not what it was then. So still another twist to the plot. The plot thickens. Oh yeah, you never know what Shifty's going to be throwing at you here on the Back 40 Firewood channel. So if any of you are new subscribers, welcome. Now, let's go check out how much water we got. So the ice is almost gone. You can see this is one chunk that's left. But look at how much water is now down here. So as you can see, now with all this rain, it's collected quite a bit of water down in there. So we're gonna get that pumped out because we have to clean it up for what the next stage is. But like I said, before we get into that, I'm gonna take you back to what this was, and then I'll, in another video, show you what it became, and then what it is now. So we bought our property, and the lot had this nice big clearing that was just full of grass and a lot of nice open space. So we started exploring around and looking, you know, we decided where we wanted to build the house, and then we found what was an old farm silo on the property. And immediately this silo, like, it caught my eye because I just thought there would be something that I could do with it. So I started digging out all the shingles and all the garbage and all the stuff that had been piled in there over the years, many, many years ago. And I just started removing it because I wanted to do something with it. I just didn't want to bulldozer it over and cover it up with dirt. I liked the look of the stone, and, you know, it was just cool. It was something that was cool. So like I said, I started digging. And I was digging, and I was finding glass and all kinds of other things. And, you know, it was just every weekend and every evening when I had a chance, I'd come out to the lot and I'd keep digging away at this pit. We called it the pit. And it kept going and going, and there was no end. It just seemed like it was full of garbage, and, I mean, anything and everything you could imagine was in there. You can see here was a mailbox and metal pails and, you know, bowls and just, I mean, it was crazy the amount of stuff that I found down inside this silo pit. But I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to just give up, so I kept digging. And here I'm going to show you in a second. You'll see, like, here's a pile of the stuff that I dug out with the wheelbarrow and some buckets and hauled over there, and I just dumped it on a pile because this was all before we had started even digging, and, you know, we didn't even start building our house yet, and I was working on this little project. So finally we said, all right, we've dug deep enough, let's just fill some of the sand in here, let's flatten it out, and we're gonna make a nice little fire pit. You see there, I found that ring buried down in there. And that was one idea that I had, was to use that as part of the fire pit. So now I needed to start digging back and getting the dirt and everything moved away from, you know, the edges, and just pushing dirt back so we could get down into this pit. And behind the wall of the silo, there was more and more rocks and sand, and just hard, you know, hard packed sand, and nice big river rocks and limestone rocks. And so I had all of this material to like build something with. So that's what my plan was, to take all these big rocks like this and dig them out, make a nice little fire pit area, a little recreational area. So like I said, we needed a way to get down in here, so I started digging back this front side of it that would eventually face the house where we were going to build. Yeah, there's like a nice big round river rock, just all kinds of shapes and sizes of rocks. So I filled it all in with the sand, leveled it out, you know, the best that I could, and then we started to dig out the front side of it. So more digging. More and more digging. That seemed like all we did. There Amanda was helping out, and the silo pit itself was 12 feet in diameter. So we figured we found a nice little spot to put the fire ring, but just with those stones it didn't really work out that good. So Wood Hounds Senior, he had well, here you can see we made a little shelf, built a little shelf for a little bar area. And then Wood Hounds Senior, he ended up giving me that big tractor tire rim. So that was going to be the fire pit. The big tractor tire rim, and we had a nice little shelf here. There are some of the bottles that I found down in this pit, digging it out. So we kind of just, you know, that was the vision. A nice recreational fire pit to go down into and sit and, you know, look back. Like I said, the front side of it would be facing our house. So the only thing was we had to dig out all that dirt. So once we got busy doing that, we kind of started sloping the ground back and hauling stuff out. Like I said, all I was using was a shovel and a wheelbarrow. And we just started digging it down and digging it down more. And kind of making a couple little terraces. And it was really taking shape. And then it rained. And when it rained, all the dirt and mud would wash down in there. So then that's where I decided I needed to do something about the floor. And here's a picture of us in the very first fire that we ever had in this fire pit. And it was still in rough shape then, but we really enjoy being outside, having fires in our backyard, and this was going to be a great recreational area for us to just sit and enjoy. So here's where I started getting fancy. I started laying down some pavers. I put rocks in between the quarter circles of the pavers and of the design of the floor. And that was pretty much how we ended up, that's what it ended up being right there. That was our recreational fire pit. All dug out from that old silo pit that we had found on the property. And there's the final shot of how it sat for a few years before we got another idea. So there it is. There is what we first did with the old silo pit on the property. And it served that we had it in use as a fire pit for probably two years, maybe. And then the creative juices got flowing again. And then we turned it into what I'll show you in the next part of this series, which I don't know when I'll release that, but yeah, so it was a really nice, and the nice thing is that, like I said, all of the material pretty much was there, like those big limestone rocks. I mean, it was just, I loved the way it looked and I loved the way it turned out. But, you know, at one point we were like, you know what would be cool is if we did this. So then we went into the next stage of what we decided to do with this area. So that'll be coming up. Well, like I said, it's gone through 3 stages. So you've just seen what was the first stage, what it became in the first stage. And then there's 2 other stages of this whole backyard transformation, if you will, before we have it to where it is, what it is now. Boss man is over there working on getting the water out. He hooks up all these different tubes and pipes, and so when the water comes out, he directs it all over the place. And, so he has fun with it. So yeah. So now you guys can start thinking about maybe what the fire pit turned into. And the next stage in the evolution was leaps and bounds over what it was the first time. So we enhanced the setting quite a bit. And then in the third stage, it got even more crazy. So you'll see that coming up here soon. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.